What is up, guys? Karataka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be doing a Hina deck. That's the one with the Metallic Dragon and the Rock Dragon. So this is one of the newest decks that came out from EX-03. It's very unexpected, but it's actually a really fun deck to play, and it's actually quite consistent. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck. For Digitamons, we're running 4 Gurimons. This is from the BT8. On attack, if your Digimon is 6k or more, you can draw 1. The other option for this one is the Chibi-Meramon, the one that gets plus 1000 when you attack. And I think there's a black variant of this deck which also works. I play this with both versions of decks, but I feel like that deck is a little bit more circumstantial, and I think this build is a little bit more aggressive. So there's that. Next, let's have a look at the level 6s. So first up, we're running 4 Metallicdramon. So this is the blocker as well as the kind of card that helps you hinder your opponent's field. On play, you can digivolve all your opponent's Digimon, and then you can pop something that's 5 cost or less, that has a play cost of 5 cost or less. And then if you didn't delete anything, your opponent cannot digivolve on top of unsuspended Digimon. So overall, it's quite strong. Obviously, it doesn't affect the breeding area. So if they have or raising area, so if they digivolve inside there, it'll be fine. But you know, it's still pretty good. It'll hinder them a little bit. So I quite like it. And next is the Volcanicdramon. So it deletes all on play. It deletes all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP, and if no Digimon was deleted, then your opponent cannot play Digimon with DP 5000 or less until the end of their turn. So what this is good for is it also kind of hinders them, because you'll be able to stop them from hard casting searchers, and you know, if you're doing a mirror match, they also can't hard cast these guys. So overall, it's pretty good, and it's on attack skill lets you just trash a security if you have a tamer. Most of the time you will have a tamer, because this deck kind of needs the tamers in order for it to work properly. But even if you do brick, you can just hard cast these, and then you can get their effects off. Most of the time you will want to be evolving up, so then you can activate the Hinas, and then you can activate their on-play skills even when you're digivolving. So these are the main bosses of the deck. Pretty good. Next, we're running level 4 of each of the level 5s for the respective lines. This one just helps you. This one helps you get memory when something is deleted with a skill, so it works really well with its own line. And then this one helps you get security check, which is one of the ways you can play a little bit more aggressively. Keep in mind their DP is a little bit low, so this build in particular is made to kind of beef up their numbers so they don't crash into security as easily. Next, for the level 4s, we're running 4 of the metallic one and 4 of the rock ones. So this one just pops stuff on attack. If they have an on-play ability, then you can pop something 3k or less. Not very useful. You can you know, pop searchers and stuff, but I think the black one is actually a little bit more useful. Same effect, same condition. You have to have an on-play ability, but the skill works on both turns. So it'll turn your Metallicdramon into a 13k blocker, which is not bad. Not really good in this current meta, because there's a lot of stuff that's bigger in it, but it's better than nothing. And then, yeah, both of them have on-play abilities, which help you search for the respective pieces, and helps you search for Hina. Actually, you can search for any of their pieces, so pretty good. And I really like them, the fact that they're 4 costs. So even if you do brick, hard casting these will help you unbrick pretty easily. So yeah, these are your searchers of the deck. Next, we're running 1 Cyclomon. So this is here because it's red and black, which is what this deck needs. If you're feeling a little bit more ballsy, you can run one color or the other. I don't recommend it though, because if you are, I guess you can do it for red, but yeah, it's I think running this is a little bit more safe in case you hard cast and whatnot. But up to you guys. So next we are going to be running four of these black ones that help you get memory when you have Hina, and it also gives your Digimon plus 1000 power. So if you have the full line, you can bump up to pretty decent numbers. And we're also running the red one, which helps you pop 3k, so same ability as its level 4, but yeah, these ones are not as good, but they're still pretty good for control. If your opponent's playing a deck that goes wide, I think this can be pretty useful. But there aren't too many decks that can go wide, that do choose to go wide now. Maybe green decks, and there's probably some other ones I'm not thinking of. I guess the Examon deck kind of goes wide sometimes. They have to play the Dracomons to get the searches, but yeah, it's not too frequent that you'll get it. Next, we're running 3 Agumons from ST7, so this helps you get power when you're attacking. Yeah, pretty good. And then we're running 3 of the Solarmon. So this is one from ST12. So this is here to help you combat against deck that reduces their cost for on play. And there are still decks that are running out, like the Digicross decks. They're still running around. Not as often as before, but you'll still see them around. And there's still a lot of Digicross decks that are topping, so yeah. Running 3. The other option is to run black cards, so you can run the Chikurimon that does pretty much the same thing as this one, and then you can run the Chikurimon that Digivolves. Digivolving is pretty good, but there's some matchups where Digivolving is not as good, so that's why for me it's a little bit hit or miss, especially with the decks I'm playing against. I think going a little bit more aggressively and just trying to take security a bit faster is the way to go. When you're playing against a lot of Examon decks, hitting into an Examon insecurity for 15k does not feel nice. So that's why we're trying to find ways to beef up the numbers. But yeah. Next, we're running 4 Hinas. Obviously, this deck really needs her on the field in order to get most of your abilities off if you're Digivolving. So you just rest her when you're Digivolving on top of one of these dragons, and then you'll be able to rest her to get one of their on-play abilities. And then if your opponent has a Digimon on the field, you get an extra memory. So that's pretty good. Next, we're running Hero. Again, this is here for you to stop. I think this is actually the best tamer for this deck, just because it doesn't have a color restriction. So if you're attacking with Metallicdramon, you can still get that 2k. So most of the time, ideally, you want to be swinging for 14 to 16, ideally 16, just because most of the time, I don't think you'll be crashing into anything if you're 16. There are, I think, a few cards in the game that can hit 16, but for the most part, you'll be safe. And then we're running 2 Gaia Force. This is a very, very flexible slot. You can run pretty much any other option or tamer over this, depending on where you're playing, like what kind of meta is around in your area. So I think a lot of people run the the Armageddonmon option. I don't think it's that great in this build, but it can be pretty good, especially since if you're playing against a deck with a lot of towers. And the Gaia Force is not great against black mirror matches, just because there's a lot of cards that can prevent it from getting deleted. So you kind of have to do it indirectly. It's also not. Digivolving is also not great against decks that just hard cast stuff. Like if they have a hard cast Dexmon or Death Exmon, your Digivolving is not going to do anything. So sometimes Gaia Force is there to just get rid of those. And I think you can run a delicate plan also if you're playing against in the meta with a lot of security control decks. So yeah, pretty flexible slot. The deck is actually pretty flexible. You'll see that I'm actually running more rookies than I am usually. So these slots are also flexible. You can run 2-2, and then you have 2 more slots for options and stuff. So yeah, it's really up to you guys. I kind of like this just because both of these cards are very useful at, you know, depending on what decks you're playing against. And in this current meta, I guess these cards are kind of better for that. But that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This deck is very, very fun to play. It's really unexpected because when I first saw the release for these cards, I was like, oh, they're eating up space for my Digimon support. But you know, when it came out, it's a pretty unique deck. I actually really like it. It's kind of like playing a zoo deck in a new way. Although it's not really a zoo deck, but you know, when you do brick, you can zoo it. Like turn 2, maybe if you really have nothing to play, just slap this down. You won't be able to get its effect off. But if you happen to have a Hina or something, just keep attacking, and they just crash the memory, and they'll still they'll still be okay. But obviously, it won't be really strong because it's just by itself. Anyway, I'm just blabbering now. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links down below. And if you guys want to see more Digimon content, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment if you guys want to see something else very soon. I am also doing more playtesting this weekend, so I'll be doing the rest of the decks pretty soon. But I am currently still living at my temporary place, which I think is gonna stay like this for another 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. So it's gonna take a while, but it's not really comfortable recording this location because I'm on my bed right now. So if everything looks really weird, that is why. But yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. This is Hina. See you guys next time.